Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm your host. You're back. I'm Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. Don't forget you can check me out on Facebook. 2 words, Paco Elijah. Also, don't forget at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, we do have an interview with Lori Steen. She was the Ron Paul supporter that got punched in the back from a Romney supporter. So we're going to talk about that and what went down. Also, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have a Libertarian candidate out here in California, Steve Collette, on the show. And also at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, we will have Brady on the show. And Brady was at the Oklahoma convention, and he was the one that called for the convention outside in the parking lot. He was the one that did a lot of fighting back with the chairman, calling him out, basically calling a point of order and speaking out against what the cheating that was going on. So he was a big Ron Paul leader for us, speaking out against the cheating that was going on in Oklahoma. And he will be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so back to what we were talking about with Jesse Bannon, this email, the Ron Paul campaign. People are discouraged, upset, don't know what to think, don't know what to do, don't know if some of these people in Ron Paul's campaign have a different agenda or their own personal agenda. I don't know. I remember hearing about rumors back in 2008 about the Ron Paul campaign or certain people within it. But one thing we got to know is that nobody controls us, not even Ron Paul. And the media knows that. And that's what's scaring them, is that Ron Paul could come out today and say, why don't you guys play nice and go ahead and endorse. Let's go ahead and back Romney and unify, unite as the party to beat Obama. And guess what? We wouldn't listen to him. We won't. I know I won't. And I know a lot of Ron Paul supporters won't do it either. Because it basically goes against everything that we've been doing. It's not like Romney is a little bit, it's not like Ron Paul's a little bit better than Romney. Oh, we just like Ron Paul because he's a good, cool guy. No. We cannot accept anything about Mitt Romney. I don't want anything to do with Mitt Romney. So they can't control us. We're going to keep the campaign going, keep it moving. But what we got to make sure we're doing, like we were talking about in the last break, is being respectful. And I want to get more on that. I think it's good that we have Ron Paul supporters out here that really take that seriously. Like, for example, at UCLA, we had Ron Paul supporters that were volunteering to register people. And a lot of them, were dressed up. Had nice outfit on, button up, slacks, whatever, or suit. And, that is good that there's those of us out there that take it to that extent, because we want to be we don't want to be judged or anything. We want to have the best possible interaction with people that we can. And I feel that. And also, it's not like I feel anything's wrong with wearing a jeans and a t-shirt either. I mean, we are regular people as well, so I don't think it's wrong either way. But I do think it helps. And so not just that, but also, being nice to people. If you're talking to Romney supporters, I would say the only thing that I would mention is the same thing, the talking points that the media mentions, and how we're what they really want. Hey, Ron Paul's the only one that can beat Obama. I really want to beat Obama. I really want to beat Obama. Or I really want a conservative. I really want smaller government. Ron Paul is really for the church, for evangelicals. He really, really lives by the Bible. Or by, the good teachings of the Bible, I should say. And so we need to take the media's talking points and throw it right back at them. Because that's all they hear, and that's all they know. All they know is Obamacare, Obama, smaller government, gay marriage, whatever, man. And so we need to take those things, conservative, small government, beat Obama, the things that they're used to hearing, and continuously repeating that, but how it is that Ron Paul is who you really want. Yeah, the media is telling you all these things, but Romney's not the one you want. Ron Paul is. A lot of these people don't know anything about Ron Paul. And so that's what I think we need to focus on. Not focusing on NDAA and CISPA and things like that, which I'm not saying we shouldn't be talking about, especially if you come around young people, but I doubt there's any young Romney supporters out there. But I'm talking about the older folks, Republican crowd. You got to talk slow for someone, things like that. Keep it simple. Obama, conservative, small government. Don't try to stay away from the argument. Because remember, I don't care if they're a Ron Paul supporter only until the convention. After that, it don't matter, because everybody will be a Ron Paul supporter once they realize that he's really the dude. But for right now, we need to win them over at those conventions. If you can get them to change and you're talking to some of them, then do that instead of us picking fights. And I'm not saying we are, but if some of us are, or if some of us get rowdy too quickly, then we got to kind of keep our composure, because that's hard, man. I know it's hard for me. Certain things somebody might say, or someone hit me in my back. I mean, it's hard to just tell Ron Paul supporters to calm down, don't do nothing about it, or don't speak back. But what I'm telling you to do is remember it's a chess game, and that's what we're playing. We're playing a chess game. And if we don't play it right and we don't make the right moves, it could mess us up down the line. And every convention is important. Every state, every delegate, every person is important. So if you have a Romney person you're talking to, or they're nice, or you're keeping up a conversation, that's what I would recommend talking about, or trying to win them over. Instead of jumping on the things that they're not used to hearing, NDAA, CISPA, things like that. Let's talk about Obama, how we can beat Obama. Let's get them on the same page as us, so that way we can come together instead of divide. And don't worry, those other things will come out in the open, and they'll find out. Once you find out about Ron Paul and you do more research, NDAA, CISPA, all them other things just come right along with it. You start finding out things you ain't never know. Once I learned about Ron Paul, after that it was a wrap. I started finding out about the IRS, the Fed, all these things I had no idea about. And I may not have listened if somebody just came out talking crazy to me about it at first. Yo, the IRS, you ain't got to pay your income tax. You ain't got to pay your income tax. If somebody just came up to me and said it like that, I don't know if I would listen. But it's the way that we do it. And that's why Ron Paul is so perfect. That's why I just love to bring people to Ron Paul, because he simplifies everything. And he exposes everything without exposing it. You see, a lot of these media whores that we see now, before Ron Paul was around, we didn't know they were media whores. We didn't know some of them were bad guys. We didn't know how some of them were, especially in the local news media. But see, when they got to report on Ron Paul, or interview Ron Paul, or talk about Ron Paul, or talk about the issues that Ron Paul is talking about, they start showing their true colors. I give you a perfect example. I used to love Keith Olbermann. I used to love Keith Olbermann's show, because he used to take it to George Bush every day. And I used to love it. He used to slam Republicans every day on TV. But I didn't realize that he was just part of the other side. And that the only reason why he was doing that was because he was just playing on the other side. He was playing for the other team. He was just trying to keep that division, Republicans versus Democrats, going on. And I started catching on and realizing, hey, how come this dude ain't talking about Ron Paul now that Ron Paul's out? All the things that Bush did, we got a guy that's doing it. You ain't interviewing him. You ain't bringing him on the show. And keep in mind, I'm watching this show almost every day now. And so you got to put two and two together. And so that's what I'm saying. Let's make sure that we do our best to try to win people over and take it easy with them, instead of just straight jumping straight through with everything. And that's just my little bit of advice. I know there's people out there already doing that, and they don't need to hear my advice. They already know what they're doing, and much luck to you. But that's just my point and how I think that we can be effective. The truth will come out. Everybody's a Ron Paul supporter. They just don't know it yet. Remember that. I'm Paco, your host. I think we headed to a break. Yeah, we'll be back.
To choose the best Republican candidate, first establish the candidates that are of basic moral character. Then select only the candidates that poll well nationally against Obama in a head-to-head general election. Of these remaining candidates, which has presented a plan that balances the budget, pays down the debt, rejects corporate socialism, and will protect constitutional rights? The choice is clear. The best candidate, Ron Paul.
Is this dude serious? Fiscal conservative? Really? Santorum voted to raise the debt ceiling 5 times. Doubled the size of the Department of Education, then supported the biggest entitlement expansion since the 60s. Not Ruby. Santorum voted to send billions of our tax dollars to dictators in North Korea and Egypt, and even hooked Planned Parenthood up with a few $million. Rick Santorum, a fiscal conservative? Fake.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
It's the story of a lost city, lost opportunity, lost hope. A story of failed policies, failed leadership. A story of smooth-talking politicians, insider deals.